Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy III for the Nintendo Famicom system. Last episode ended right outside of Unei's shrine. We were returning here to wake her up from her slumber in the dream world with Noah's lute, the only thing that's said to be able to reach into the dream world. So, like the shots there said, we play the lute to reach into the dream world, and that will end up waking up Unei. And we will learn from her that she slept a pretty long time. But despite sleeping so long and being an old lady, she's pretty spry for her age. She gets up. I slept well, Parrot, on my shoulder now. Aye, ma'am, I need the stretch. She just jumps, like, all the way across the room and does some laps on the top of the room. And jumps back down. Unei, guardian of the dream world, at your service. Haha. I'm Unei. I was in the dream world for eons. Doga told me about you in my dreams. Why did Xandy do such a thing? Let's get to the ship, the Invincible, in the ancient moons up north. It can fly over mountains. What? Huh? Don't want to be seen with an old lady? No, that's not. Let's get going. Unei joins our party. So. Almost forgot. Take this. Obtain the Fire Fang. What's this? This Fang and the 2 Fangs you have will get you past the 4 statues that Xandy made. There's one last Fang, the Earth Fang. You need the Invincible to find it. Let's hurry. The great ship can cross over mountains. It's the only way to get the Earth Fang to the ancient ruins. The great ship's name is the Invincible. It was made by the ancients. So yeah, we heard about the Invincible. The name of the ship was the 2nd ship after Nautilus and the top ship of the year in the Saronia libraries. No, Saronia library. So we're gonna head to the North Ruins to go look for that ship, but not right now. We want to clear up some inventory space, so now that we know what the 4 Fangs do, we can get rid of 3 of the Fangs, the 3 that we got, and that'll clear up 3 pieces in our inventory. So yeah, now the Fire and the Water Fang are gone, and the Wind Fang, as soon as we step into these 3rd group there of statues, will be removed from our inventory too, so might as well clear up some inventory space. So, and speaking of about Saronia, we're gonna head back there because before we get our new airship, we still have something we can do with this airship. We still need to go underground to the Saronia caverns. We were told several times about that. There was a passageway that led underneath the castle that was only accessible by the sea. So we are going to go and access that passage since our since our ship can go underwater. Well, the Nautilus can. The Invincible, the new airship we're getting, can't go underwater. So might as well get as much as we can with the Nautilus ship while we're still using it. Now, you can always switch ships out later on, but might as well do all we can with the Nautilus now, so we limit the amount of switching we have to do. Alrighty. Once we get the airship Invincible, we'll be able to go back to the floating continent and do those quests to get Leviathan and Behemoth. Because as Unei said, the ship can travel over mountains. Now, it can't travel over all mountains, but there's like little spaces where like there's only like one or 2 little pieces of a mountain, and in those little patches, you can press the A button and the airship will rise over it. So here in the underground catacombs, got some new enemies here. This is, if you still have your Dragoon equipment, this is a place where you can use Dragoons again, because eventually we're going to fight Odin, and Odin is similar to Garuda in that he has a powerful hit-all attack. Luckily though, Odin can sometimes be nice and not use that hit-all attack every one of his turns. If that's the case, then the battle is pretty easy. It's just that when he's hitting everybody, at the same time that healing can be a problem, especially if you're not using a white mage, but it's not necessary, and we'll see that. It just means that pretty much Tupelo and Tangeweenie are going to be on healing duty, chucking a whole bunch of high potions. So, we're going to use a strategy similar to what we used against the salamander monster that guarded the fire crystal, where we'll be giving a Bacchus wine to our best attacker. Once again, it's going to be Fang, and having him deal basically most of the damage, and occasionally being buffed up by Baby Moo's cheer command. Got some other new ones here. The Kenchoses are the guys who look like the old boss Kraken. And then I'll put the stats up for the other guy, the Fancha, which is the ogre guy in the back there. They're pretty common enemy in this area. I know later on we're going to have to grind to try to find a last enemy that's only available on the first and the fourth floor. And I just ran into so many of those blue ogres there. So, really, really annoying. Good old ogres. Flashbacks to Final Fantasy 1, grinding on ogres and creeps to the east of Elfland, like the Nintendo Power guide told you to do. But had to do that big grind to get all the equipment and spells needed to survive the Marsh Cave. That big jump in difficulty in that game. So, luckily we didn't have to do grinding in this one, so got most of the grinding that we need from just hunting down enemies. You didn't have to spend a whole episode grinding. Got our second golem staff there. We're going to keep them because eventually we're going to get some more magic class jobs, and the golem staffs will be good for them. Like I said, 3 hits with the golem staff will turn an enemy into full stone, assuming that they connect. So when you should hit, you'll get a message saying, like, you know, partial petrification. You get that 3 times, and the enemy's turned to stone and completely eliminated. So here we got the Fachans, the blue ogres. So I guess this is like an ogre battle. It's a playthrough I did around this time last year. Picked it up right after I finished the Dog Island, which was a playthrough I did in honor of my family dog when I was growing up, Buddy Beagle. So that's a cute game, the Dog Island. Ogre Battles are also a good strategy RPG, so check out those 2 playthroughs if you haven't. Got another set of Reflect Mail that'll go on our Viking here, Tupelo. And I'm gonna use a whole bunch of high potions. After this, we're pretty much going to have to restock all our high potions, but luckily there's a shop not too far into the ancient ruins where Unei told us to go. It's pretty much right beyond the cave-in, the adamantite cave-in wall. So it's a good place to stock up, get some items. New enemy here, the Cyclops. Nothing too important with them, so it'd be nice if a lot of these enemies end up dropping. Some do. Some of the black magic items, like the Zeus's Rage there, because in the next dungeon, the Ancient Rooms, on the bottom floors, we're going to start running into these enemies that are called splitter enemies. Now, we ran into one, the Deathclaw, in the last episode, and I said the problem with splitter enemies is if you hit them and don't deal lethal damage to them with with a physical attack that isn't a dark sword, they will split into a copy of the enemy with the hit points that they have left. So if it has 1,000 hit points, you hit it for 500, it's going to split into 2 enemies, each with 500. Now, you beat that enemy, even though it has only half the hit points as the original, it still gives you the full experience. So that's why splitter enemies tend to have really low experience. But you know, they're still like really annoying. So if you get a bunch of those black magic items, you can use them because magic really doesn't affect them, cause them to split. It's only the physical attacks. So we're going to try to get around that by kind of boosting Tangeweenie and then cheering with Baby Moo multiple times, so we just stack the damage up. Now this is a really interesting little boom here. We have everything on the bottom there is going to be guarded by these Aeon monsters, and they're going to be Phoenix Downs, and the tops are going to be these Ouroboruses, and they're going to guard elixirs. So we're going to get 4 elixirs, 4 Phoenix Downs, very rare treasures. So, and these enemies ain't too hard. So it's a good place to get some, you know, good experience and, of course, good items. So these battles are not too long, so I just kept them in here. But these guys will eventually become common enemies in future dungeons. I mean, we've kind of seen that though a lot of times. A lot of times, enemies that guard treasure chests will become, you know, the big like mini bosses. They'll become regular enemies later on. This is also the 4th floor. We're gonna have to go try to farm that final enemy that we didn't meet on the 1st floor. But let's just keep farming our elixirs and Phoenix Downs. Some endgame enemies drop elixirs. The dragon enemies, you're probably going to get a lot of elixirs off of them if you're farming for the ultimate gear, the onion gear. The only class that'll actually reach 99 in every single one of their stats is surprisingly the Onion Kid. Now they have really terrible stat growths for the entire game, so that's why you pretty much never use them, and they don't have any special abilities. You just fight, guard, run, or item. That was the class you started with before you got any jobs. But at the end of the game, there's these dragons, and they drop different sets of equipment. Onion sword, onion shield, onion helmet, onion armor, and then onion gauntlets. And if you get an entire set of onion gear and a level 99 onion knight, you're pretty much unstoppable. At level 90, the onion kids start getting massive stat growths. They just like start blowing up, so that by the time they hit level 99, they have 99 in every single one of their stats. So they're called the fully equipped Onion Knight Fiok, and I will be showing them off how they just pretty much steamroll everything. So yeah, you give them the shield, and they're pretty much invincible. Even like battles that you're supposed to lose, that the game scripted you to lose, like you have to basically kill yourself because the enemies will never deal enough damage to defeat you. So I wonder if a fully equipped Onion Knight party could defeat Bahamut at the beginning of the game. If you hacked them in like that, so I don't know. But if anybody knows or finds out, let me know in the comments. That'd be really interesting to hear. So I'm sure somebody has programming knowledge and can hack a cheat in, you know, where they because you know people mod games all the time. You know, I'm sure somebody has the knowledge and to mod a game. And I mean, there's like randomized for Final Fantasy 1, and people have modded other games to make them harder, easier. So I'm sure somebody can do it where they create a game where you start, or even with the, like I said, there's that glitch where you, with the overflows, you can probably, if you spend enough time, because I know on the one speed run, the glitch, no glitch job speed run that somebody did for Retrothon 2020, he creates an onion helmet at the beginning of the game. transforms into something else, I think, by the end of the game, but one of the steps in the items that he creates. That in that speed run, they basically like skip a lot of these side quests. Well, not really side quests. A lot of the main quests by kind of glitching the inventory and like so they wouldn't have to go to the Earth Cave to get the Earth Fang because they would just have item X in their inventory, have something overflow into item X, and then item X would turn into the Earth Fang. So they can skip a lot of the game by knowing by having the correct items and having the correct overflow item get into it. So, pretty interesting. RGL TV on YouTube, look it up. Just type in Retrothon. Might pop up easier because I know it's on RGL TV, which is supposed to be Retro Game Live. There's like a different, I think that's a brand of TV. So, here's the final enemy that we were looking for here. Finally got them, the Balor. So, this is almost like the Balrog, the like winged flame demon from Lord of the Rings. The one that Gandalf told, you can't pass, and ended up pulling him down into the abyss. Moved Gandalf from the Fellowship from basically the end of the Fellowship of the Ring book to, I believe, he returns sometime in the not necessarily the Two Towers, but like the fourth book, because like each book is kind of made up of 2 books. So I think you have the first part, the creation of the Fellowship, and then the Fellowship starts. That's the first book, the Fellowship of the book, and then the next book, the Two Towers, like the first half, that deals with Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas trying to get the hobbits back, Merry and Pippin, and then the last half is with Frodo and Sam finding Gollum, Smeagol, and trying to get to Mordor to throw the One Ring into the volcano to destroy it. And you get to Return of the King. And I think Gandalf appears at the end of the third kind of book. So here's Odin. We're going to basically buff up Fang with the Bacchus wine because he has the highest attack power. Tupelo will get a hit in here for a little bit. While he doesn't have healing duty. Unfortunately, you're going to have to get on healing duty because even though Odin didn't do a full hit attack to everybody, he did like a critical hit to Tangeweenie and took off a lot of her health. So we got to get her back up to near full. Odin does about like high 300s to like low 500s in damage with this Zen Tetsuken. So, yeah, when you're around, like I said, right now, like Tangeweenie would probably want to heal, because you don't want to get to the point where, if you don't heal, and Odin goes first, and then he goes first again before he can heal, say, we let Tangeweenie get hit again, goes down to, like, say, 300 hit points, and then we hope, well, hopefully Tangeweenie can heal herself before, Odin acts. But maybe the next round Odin will go before Tangeweenie can heal herself, and then we get knocked out, so. Now what happens, unfortunately, in this battle here, is we start off really, really good. We're doing a lot of damage. Fang is getting a lot of hits, taking off like 1,600 hit points. So I'm looking at, hey, maybe like a 6-turn battle, even, if he rolls low. And unfortunately, he starts rolling really, really low. Starts only hitting like in the 400s. Basically for the last like 3,000 damage. I was looking really, really good for the first few turns. And then he goes into a dry spell. One bad thing is the guard command. It's supposed to double your defense against physical attacks. And but Odin's like Zankentetsu's attack, I guess, doesn't register as a physical because it deals like its full damage, even if you try guarding with Tupelo, Tangeweenie, or anybody else. So yeah, not very good. So I was hoping, thought, you know, maybe I can just do like, this took me several tries to do. I thought, well, maybe I can have like some of the Tupelo and Tangeweenie guard. That way they won't have to use as many high potions. But like I said, it didn't work out. As you can see, Fang is slowing down. I don't know, just his accuracy just went down and he just kept missing, which is really bad because Odin was somewhat cooperating. He went again for another single attack there rather than doing a hit all. So once again, though, he unfortunately hit Tangeweenie and knocked her out. Now, if you want to waste elixirs, you can probably, you know, get off with less healing, because the elixirs will do basically the work of like 2 high potions. But as long as you're keeping up with your healing, slow and steady, you'll end up knocking Odin down. Now, one thing that helped me is, like I said, I usually keep, for boss battles like this, I usually have a calculator off to the side. You know, I start off with like 7,000 hit points, and every time I get a hit, I just, you know, minus that hit points, so I can keep track of, you know, how close the boss is to being defeated. So that way, if I get really close, you know, and the boss is down to like only, you know, say like 100 hit points, then I know I'll just go all out, you know. So I think I was testing that right here. I was like, I'm really close. I think I was at like 700 hit points maybe, and I was like, do I risk, you know, Fang running low? If he runs low, then Tupelo will be able to finish Odin off, but I can't risk having Tangeweenie and Baby Moo die. So I was like, I'll just throw everyone on healing duty. But you say we got lucky there. Fang got a lot of hits in and did that like final 700 damage. So, and with that, we have defeated Odin. So, woohoo! And people got a lot of job levels. And we get Odin's power. Odin, if you use an evoker, can be pretty good against Behemoth. Odin's, his, like, support type spell that he uses, he puts up a magic barrier on everybody, like a wall, a reflect spell, and Bahamut, we're gonna see in future games, well, starting in the next game, one of the easiest ways to defeat Bahamut, or do lots of damage to Bahamut, is have reflect spells on your characters, and then Bahamut will use a spell called Mega Flare. It'll bounce off your characters, the reflect wall that they put up, and hit him for massive damage. So it kind of starts off in this one here, but we don't have, you know, it would be tough to put up a wall spell on everybody, but if you have Odin and the Evoker, and you get lucky and he uses the support spell, which is a 50% chance that he does, everybody will get that wall spell up and make Bahamut a little bit easier. Assuming that Bahamut cooperates and decides to use Mega Flare. Sometimes I think the game knows. It seems like when I was doing my test run, when I ever got the reflect status up with Odin, then Bahamut would not use the Mega Flare. So now you just gotta find that cavern. The ancient ruins. It's to the north of Unei's thing there, but we gotta find the right river to go into. Luckily, the Nautilus here can land on the ground, so we don't have to ride the river, canoe up the river like we had to do with Enterprise. The Enterprise can only land in the seawater. We have a little patch of grass here that the Nautilus can land on, so we don't have to canoe to the ancient ruins. But we will have to explore the ancient ruins tomorrow in our next episode. Have a good one. See you then. Bye.